This is Sportscentre.
Hi, I'm Reagan Seaban, filling in for Marissa Roberto, and this is Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. The Toronto Maple Leafs are looking to build off a convincing 6-2 win over Calgary on Monday. But to do so, they're going to have to overcome a much tougher opponent as they welcome the Colorado Avalanche and leading scorer Nathan Mackinnon to town. Nate Mack is currently on pace to score 124 points, which will be just the 7th time an active player has reached the mark, including his own 140-point campaign from last season. The Avs are not lacking in star power on their back end either, as Makar continues to put together yet another historic season. The 2022 Norris Trophy winner is on pace to set career highs in goals and points, while potentially becoming the first 30-goal defenseman since Mike Green reached the mark in 08-09. How do you stop these guys? On the Leafs side, the big guns returned against the Flames, with Matthews, Marner, and Nylander combining for 8 points. All of which came on the power play. While John Tavares did not record a point, he did earn some brownie points with it when he took some time to bring his sons, Axton and Jace, out onto the Scotiabank Arena ice yesterday. Could the real secret to stopping Mackinnon and Makar be dad strength? I mean, maybe. Leafs fans, you better hope so. Time now for the Big Play Replay presented by Montana's. And for this one, we head to Vancouver, where Vezina Trophy frontrunner Connor Hellebuyck made this incredible save.
Marcus Pettersson will dump it in, former Duck and Penguin. Hellebuyck gave it away. Wraparound, what a stop! Hellebuyck denying Lekramaki with a brilliant save after he gave it away.
He deserves a steak after that save. That was incredible. Time now for Upset Moments presented by Under Armour. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially less than 24 hours away from the round of 64 at March Madness. And you know what that means. If you're anything like me, ready to have your bracket busted early. But just how early? Let's dive deeper into some potential upsets from the first round. Double-digit seeds going deep in the tournament isn't anything new. In fact, in the men's tournament, we've seen a double-digit seed make the Final Four 4 times since 2016. One on our radar has to be the 13th seed Yale, who are taking on the 4 seed Texas A&M in the first round. A year ago, Yale found themselves with the same seed, taking on Auburn, and they shocked the world, knocking off the 4th seed. Can they do it again? Another matchup to keep an eye on is 13th seed Akron. They're up against the 4th seed Arizona. Arizona has endured some heartbreak in the last decade. In fact, they lost in the first round 3 times in the last 8 years. While another potential Cinderella pick at this year's tournament are the 11th seeded Drake. The Bulldogs won 30 games for the first time in program history, and they did it limiting opponents to an average of 58.4 points per game. It'll be interesting to see how that will play out against the 6th seed Missouri, a team that put up 84.5 points per game. That was good for 9th in the country. And one more upset we got our eyes on is 11th seed VCU against BYU. Not only because BCU is hot, they've won 12 of their final 13 games, but because head coach Ryan Odom has some history on his side. He was the head coach of UMBC when they pulled off the first upset by a 16 seed in March Madness history. Regardless, the first round is upon us and we can't wait. But tonight, the first 4 rolls on. American University takes on Mount St. Mary's, and after that, it's Texas versus Xavier. You can catch the action on TSN+. We're just a day away now from a massive game. The Canadian men's national soccer team take on Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals. Marissa has been following the team all week. So let's head back to LA for another edition of Roberto on the Go.
We are in LA to interview the Canadian men's soccer team, and here's some establishing shots as proof. God, those donuts were insane. And apparently it wasn't on brand enough because Shooter was wearing soccer shoes. And now we're talking about practice. We're at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Absolutely historic. Very cool watching our team practice on this pitch.
Team here in red, team 3, Jamie, Fonzie, Oso, and Toby. Hold the ball! Hold the ball!
After practice, it was my turn to work. I got to sit down with so many of your favorites from the Canadian men's soccer team, and I cannot wait for you to see what we cooked up for you. It's going to be on TSN very soon.
And tomorrow, right here on TSN, you can catch the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal between Mexico and Canada. Coverage begins at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Now joined by our basketball guy, Wesley Chang. How you doing, Wes?
Hey, Reagan. Thanks for having me. Good to see you in the flesh.
Great to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, Wes, it's that time of year where everyone magically becomes a basketball expert.
Yes.
But you have a different take on how to build a bracket this year.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be a charlatan. All right? I'm not going to come here pretending like I know too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build you the Masai. and Bobby Webster, dream Raptors prospect tourney here. And I got 4 teams that we want to make it to the Final Four. Okay. So the most obvious one, Duke. All right, everybody knows you're supposed to be watching Duke. There's multiple prospects, though. It's not just Cooper Flagg. Malawatch is somebody I think you should really be paying attention to during this tournament. But then in the other regions, I would say Michigan, shout out to my guy Javon Shepard. That's a team that has Danny Wolf, somebody the Raptors might be interested in. Illinois, they got Yakichonis on that team. That's somebody who might fall into the range that the Raptors will be drafting at. And then last but not least, I got to shout out our producer, our basketball producer, Hambone. He loves Dairy Queen on Maryland. So that's another player you'll see there in that parlay. These are all the guys that I guarantee Masai and Bobby, they got the binoculars on. So if you're a Raps fan, that's what you should be paying attention to during this March Madness.
Heard it here first. All right, let's shift gears to the NBA. The Lakers are taking on the Nuggets for the 3rd time in less than a month. Now, they lost 4 of their last 6, and they're going to be without LeBron James as he's sidelined. So is there any money to be making without him in the lineup?
I mean, I think the main thing that catches my eye during these 5 games that he's missed, Austin Reeves is really getting himself out there, getting in the conversation as like the best 3rd man, part of a big 3. If you look at what he's done, especially in that game where Luka also sat out against Denver, he had 13 assists against the Nuggets. Now, I'm not using that as the template for how he's going to play tonight because Luka is expected to play, but you're seeing that without LeBron, he's able to elevate his level of playmaking. And with Jackson Hayes as the rim threat that he is, and then Denver, not really a defensive threat team. It could be a shootout kind of game, and Austin Reeves is a guy that I think deserves more attention for how capable he is as not just a scorer, but as a playmaker.
Wes, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, that's all for today, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific. Have a good one.